Hi, and welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today we have a 2014, it's a Jeep Cherokee, and we're going to be doing an oil and filter change. Now if you look underneath the vehicle, you're going to see a bunch of plastic covers underneath here, and the one you want to take out is this one with the little flat screwdriver that you would put in there. You just put your screwdriver in, turn it to the counterclockwise position, and that little cover pulls open, and you gain access to the oil drain plug underneath that. All right, so we'll drain the oil from right here. And up in the front, I'm going to show you where the filter is located. Again, we take that little screwdriver, put it in there, turn this in a counterclockwise position, open it up, and you'll see that the filter is right up underneath the bottom right there. And we'll just get in here and drain the oil out of this once we finish draining the oil from the oil drain plug. All right, so let's grab some tools and let's get underneath here and let's get this job done. It looks like the drain plug is going to be probably a 13 millimeter. And what you want to do is remember it goes counterclockwise to loosen it, clockwise to tighten it. Just break it loose by hand. I mean, with the ratchet, you break it loose. Raise your bucket up or whatever you're going to drain it into, and remove your drain plug, and we'll let all the oil drain out thoroughly. You probably want to wear some rubber gloves because used motor oil is not good for the skin. So we'll just let all that drain out. And once it finishes draining, we'll come back and we're going to remove the oil filter up front. What I'm going to show you is to get the oil filter out. There's different ways of doing it. They have all different kinds of tools that you can use. You have a cap like this that would go up onto the filter, up in the front here, and you remove it like that. The one that I like the best is this one here. This is expandable. You put it onto the ratchet, you put it up on top of the filter itself, and then as you turn it, it grips in and it will pull it out. So let me finish this up and we'll come right back. Once the oil finishes draining, we're going to reinstall the oil drain plug into the oil pan. And you screw it in by hand as far as you can, and you usually contact the pan itself. Screw it in all the way, and then you just tighten it up with the ratchet. Remember, we're going to go clockwise to tighten it up, and you just snug it in, and you just go a little bit more, and that's it. Tight. All right, wipe off any excess oil. All right, and once you get it tight, then what we're going to do is we're going to come up to the front. Now obviously we're going to put this back up, but let me show you in the front here. This is where the filter is, up in the top, right up inside here. And remember what I was telling you about this tool here. I like this one because it fits on right over the top of the filter like this, and you can just unscrew it. So let me put the camera down, and I'm going to take this out. I'll show you how that's done. Just get that tool on there, and we'll take that down. Remember, counterclockwise to remove it, clockwise to tighten it. What we're going to do is we're just going to let this drain a little bit because it is going to be a little bit messy. Then we just unscrew the filter the rest of the way off. You want to be wearing gloves because it is a little bit messy. Hold on to the filter, you don't want to drop it and cause a real big mess up on this cover. Alright, we're going to take the filter out, and then I'm going to show you something real quick too that you got to check. You always have to check to make sure that when you take the old filter down, you see this gasket on here? You have to make sure that that gasket is on the filter and not stuck up there on the housing. So make sure that that filter gasket is not up top. Alright, once you once you remove the filter and you're sure that that gasket is off of there, then you just take your filter and you put a little bit of oil on the gasket itself to make it slide on a little bit easier. Just a little bit, like that. And then you screw this on as tight as you can make it by hand. You don't need a tool to put it back on. Just as tight as you can do it by hand. Obviously you want to dry everything off afterwards so you don't have any oil dripping. As tight as you can. And then we're going to put our cover back up, which is basically just lift it up in place like this and turn this lock tab like that, and it locks it right back up. Alright, so now we have everything all done underneath the bottom. We're going to lower it down, and I'll show you up top where the oil is going to be installed. Got the car back down on the ground. We're going to put in whatever oil calls for. Most of the time you can look it up in your owner's manual, or if you look on the cap, it'll tell you right on the cap what oil goes in here. In this case it calls for 0W20, which is what we're going to put in there. Alright, take your cap off. We're going to obviously reuse that cap. And I looked it up already on the computer, and this tells me that this car uses 5.5 quarts of oil. So we're going to put the oil in, and then we'll start it up and check the level to make sure that it's full. Alright? Obviously you want to use a funnel because it does make a mess. Make sure that the oil says that it's 0W20. Very important. This car needs to have that oil in it. Pour it in slow so it doesn't come bubbling up out of the top of the valve cover. And just pour it in nice and slow and get that 5 quarts in there, and then we'll put a half a quart more, and that'll give us 5.5. So let's fill it up and we'll go from there. I find, even though it calls for 5.5 quarts of oil, I always can add a little bit more versus taking it out. So it's got 5 quarts in there. I'm going to start it up for a moment, and we're going to see if it's circulating. After you let it run for a minute, we'll let the oil run back down into the oil pan, and then we're going to take the dipstick out and we're going to check the oil level to make sure that it's full. You pull the dipstick out of the engine, you wipe it down until it's clean, you push it back inside as far down as it can go, and then you take it out and you check the level to make sure that it's full. And we do have to put a little bit more oil in it. Another half a quart, so we're going to put that half a quart of oil in there, and that should do it. So being that we had the engine already running, we don't have to start it again to let the oil circulate through. What we're going to do is we're just going to pull the dipstick out, wipe the stick off again, make sure the stick is clean, and you put the stick back into the engine, and you pull it out, and you make sure it's right up to the full mark, which is exactly where it belongs. All right. Take the funnel back out, and we're going to reinstall our cap and make sure it's in tight, and that's it, all done. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to reset the maintenance required light. Close the door behind you. Then what you're going to do is you're not going to step on the brake pedal, because if you step on the brake pedal the car is going to start. You don't step on the brake pedal. You just press this start and stop button, and when the lights all light up on the dashboard, you step on the accelerator 3 times within 5 seconds to reset the maintenance light. So let's give it a try. Right? No foot on the brake pedal. Turn the ignition on. Step 3 times within 5 seconds to the floor, and it should reset the maintenance reminder light. Now we're going to start it and see. That's it, reset. Alright, so to recap, this is what you do. Get in the vehicle, do not step on the brake, press the button to start and stop the engine. Once you press this button, you step on the accelerator 3 times within 5 seconds, and it'll reset your instrument cluster. So, press the button to turn it on. 3 times within 5 seconds to the floor, and the dashboard should reset the maintenance required light. Alright, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.